We are the group number 5 and we are assigned to discuss late childhood under the topic development of the learners at the various stage. At the end of the video lesson, we are able to learn what is late childhood, what are the development characteristics, tasks and hazards under the late childhood, and also the related theories. What is late childhood? It is the time period from age of 6 years old until the age of 12 years old. It is in late childhood that the first sign of puberty usually begin to appear, and a lot of growth is experienced by both girls and boys during in late childhood. And it prepares the child from a formal education, and it is also known as the age of schooling. The mental, emotional, social development is remarkable than the physical development. And the other term for late childhood is the intermediate schoolers. The next slides will be going to tackle about the developmental characteristics, hazards, and tasks, and also the theories related under the late childhood.
Stage development has certain distinct and specific characteristic. So these are some characteristic of late childhood. So troublesome age, sloppy age, quarrel age, elementary school age, critical age, gang age, and creative age, and lastly play age. So in this stage, many changes take place in attitude, values, and behavior. So, troublesome age, the time when children are no longer willing to do what they are told to do, and when are more influenced by their peers than by their parents and other members. So in this stage, the children are becoming more stubborn, hard-headed, and rebellious, and they are more influenced by their maybe classmates or friends that share the same interests. So, sloppy age, the time when children tend to be careless, slovenly about their appearance, and when their rooms are not cluttered, that is almost impossible to get into them. So this is common for children, especially for boys, to be careless and responsible about their clothes and other material possession. So quarrel age, time when a family fights common, and when the emotional climate of home is from pleasant for all family members. So this is our common pattern of behavior among brothers and sisters at this age. So I remember when I was just in my elementary school age, me and my brother often fights, which is I don't really understand back then, but now I really understand that it is part of child development. So elementary school age, the child is expected to acquire the rudiments of knowledge that are essential for successful adjustment to adult life. So elementary school age or school age stage, particularly the primary and intermediate levels, in elementary level of the kids, it is also the time when the children is expected to learn certain essential skills, both curricular or co-curricular. So this is also regarded as the critical period in the achievement drive. So the time when the children form the habit of being achievers, underachievers, or overachievers, that is a critical age. So the gang age, so children major concern is acceptance by their age, and membership of gang. So gang age, this is the stage where boys and girls tend to form in their separate groups, developing. This is the stage where they develop a sense of loyalty to their friends or to their groups. So they are faithful and obedient towards them, towards their gang. Creative age, the time in lifespan when it will be determined whether it will become conformist procedure or of new and original work. So creative age, this is the age where children develop imagination or imaginative play. For instance, they are playing a toy car and they imagine it like they are in a car race. So play age, so an overlapping of activities characteristic of younger and those characteristic of adolescent. So most of the time of this stage is spent and playing. So for instance, building a house with the blocks, or most of children involved in the outdoors play or outdoors games.
The physical development in late childhood is setting the stage for the upcoming teen years, during which time boys and girls will complete the puberty and experience significant mental and cognitive development as they mature into full adulthood. Including in the physical development in late childhood are the variety of activities, complex motor skills. When we say complex motor skills, these require intricate body movements with finer control of many body parts. An example of this is the layup shot in basketball. Next is the strength of a child. Muscles increase in strength and size during this period. The child's hand-eye coordination will get better over time, along with motor skills like ball catching and throwing. Next is the balance and coordinates. This means that they have the ability to maintain a controlled body position during task performance. An example of this is riding a bike. They now like the progressive activities because children this stage are no longer satisfied to play the simple and undifferentiated types of games of early childhood. Instead, they want to play the games of older children, such as basketball and volleyball. The growth rate of the child this stage are not uniform and is different for each child, but typically a child will gain 5 to 7 pounds per year and grow 2 to 3 inches per year. They also tend to lose weight and gain muscle strength and lung capacity, allowing them to engage in strenuous physical activity for extended periods of time. The puberty starts here, which is for girls. Breasts will start developing. The body shape will change. For example, a girl's hips will widen. The external genitals and pubic hair will start to grow. Hair will start growing under the arms, and then the periods will usually start within 2 years of breast growth starting, but can take up to 4 years. Boys in late childhood may notice an enlargement of the testicles and scrotums, possibly as age of 9. The external genitals, such as penis, testes, and scrotum, will start to grow. Pubic hair will also start to grow. The hormone testosterone is produced, which stimulates the testes to produce sperm. The child might start also having erections and ejaculating. During this period, erections often happen for no reason at all. The social development in this stage revolves around enjoyment,
They also like to have an individual work, rotation of roles, cooperative work in which is the child this age learn to cooperate with each other, independent responsibility. They want to learn on their own without the guide of their parents or their guardians. They are also fond of problem-solving activities, leadership opportunities, which is they can be a leader of a group like in sports or dance group activities, which is these activities helps to encourage teamwork and self-reliance, qualities of a good leader, fair play, and team culture.
Cognitive development. Leadership skills. Children develop cognitive awareness of the people around them. They speed up their leadership expertise as they build their trust and talent. Differing reasoning skills. Children from age 7 to 11, children what Pageant referred to as concrete operational stage of cognitive development. It involves mastering the use of logic in abstract ways. Use of analogies in explanation. It is common use of analogy has to do with comparison of things based of their being alike in some ways. Example, one of can make a draw an analogy between the season of the year and the stage of life. Decision making and problem solving opportunities. Problem solving and decision making are important skills for business and life. Problem solving often involves decision making, especially important for management and leadership. There are processes and techniques to improve decision making and the quality of decision. Individual identity. Child personal identity is the concept you develop about yourself that you over the course of your life. This may include aspects of your life that you have no control over, such as where you grow up or the color of your skin, as well as choices you have made in your life, such as how you spend your time and what you believe. Social comparison. This theory is the idea that individuals determine their own social and personal worth based on how they stack up against others. Emotional development positive. Development of being able to form and sustain positive relationship, experience, manage, and express emotions. Environment. A child who has poor emotional environment may struggle to develop positive relationship with their peers, fall behind academically, and risk later involvement in crime. They may also develop physical health and mental health. Praise and encouragement. Encouragement teaches students to evaluate and motivate their own. When adults provide children with good feedback, the children will learn to evaluate without comparing. Use of role models. When they see, hear, and play models view a behavior, it may conflict with our own sense of healthy values and conduct it commercial nature of today's media makes kids put enormous emphasis of what they own. Success in meeting challenges. It effective meeting and bringing a thoughtful selected group of people together for a specific purpose, provide a forum for open discussion. Feeling of self-worth mood swings. Feeling high emotion or like you're unable to control your emotion can come down on diet choice, genetic, or stress.
Developmental hazards are those hazards or challenges which can affect the function or structure of a developing child. It can affect before or after birth. In simple words, developmental hazards are anything that can alter the normal development of a child. In late childhood, it is generally defined as ages 9 through 12 years, and it is marked by conditions that profoundly affect a child's personal and social adjustment. In developmental hazards of late childhood, it involves the physical hazards and the psychological hazards. In physical hazards, as you can see in the presentation, illness, obesity, accidents, and disabilities due these are common hazards. So normally in late childhood, it would encounter some diseases or illness because of the environment. and obesity because some of the child in this stage are likely want to eat and they don't mind if they are getting fat or they are getting unhealthy as long as they enjoy eating. Then accidents. School age children or this stage are more adventurous in nature, or they run fast, play hard, or ride bicycles and scooters, and engage in a variety of sports that possibly they will encounter accidents. Other than that, sex inappropriate body build are likely to be ridiculed by their peers and pitied by adults. Girls with masculine body builds and boys with girlish physique or voice. So as we observe that there are some cases where there are girls that their body was like a boy or they are more masculine than the boy, and there are boys that their voice is like a girl that's soft or girlish voice, and the reason is because of the environment or the people around them, and the other reason is that they are naturally born like that. Next is psychological hazards. Most of psychological hazards are in relation to speech, emotional, social, sexual typing, and hazards in personality development. Psychological hazards are those that are basically or specifically that causing stress. This kind of hazards troubles in individual very much to an extent that his or her general well-being is also affected. Just like their speech, the way they talk, and their emotion also, and if the emotion and speech is affected, then their social interaction will follow because they become afraid or scared to interact with someone or other people. Psychological hazards have a big impact of personality development of a child because sometimes they develop negative coping behaviors to deal with psychological hazards. That's why if we encounter those child that dealing with this kind of hazards, then we must understand them more and help them by giving advice or guidance to be able them to build their confidence and their fighting spirit to continue their life as normal human being.
The first theory that is related to late childhood is the theory of John Piaget, which is the cognitive development, specifically during concrete operational stage. First, during the concrete operational stage, the child has the ability to understand the principles of conservation. It is the ability to order object to some quantitative dimensions. For example, there are two sticks that has the same length. If you move the other stick away from the other one, the child think that the length of the stick does not change. Therefore, the child know that the quantity of the object are still the same or equal even though you move it away from its original position. Second, during concrete operational stage, the child already know how to classify. They already know how to recognize hierarchical relations between sets and subsets. For example, children already know how to group specific objects based on their color, shapes, size, amount, and similarities. Third, during the concrete operational stage, the child has already the ability to solve transitive reasoning. So, for example, child A is taller than child B. Child B is taller than child C. Then, child E is taller than child C. Therefore, children in this stage already know how to infer and to conclude who is the shortest to tallest. The second theory that is related to late childhood is the theory of Lawrence Kohlberg. According to Lawrence Kohlberg, theory of moral development, specifically on pre-conventional morality, it is at the age range between 4 to 11 years old. The child in this stage are behaviorist motivated by self-interest. It may be avoidance of punishment or attainment of rewards. So, what is avoidance of punishment? So, for example, a child is doing his task or what has been told to him to avoid punishment, such as scolded by his parents. So, to avoid punishment or to avoid to be scolded by his parents, he will obey what has been told to him. On the other hand, attainment of reward is when a child is doing such thing because his or her goal is to get the prize or the reward. So, for example, the mother told her child to clean her room, and then the mother said that if the child will clean her room, she will buy her favorite toy. So from the fact that the prize or the reward is a thing that the child is aiming to have, so the child will automatically do her task to be able to get the reward, which is her favorite toy. In addition, there are two types of common behaviors during this stage. So first is punishment and obedience orientation. It is similar to what I have been explaining earlier. So another example is the mother told her child to finish her food, and if the child will not finish her food, the mother will get angry and scold her. So to avoid being scolded by her mother, the child should obey or follow what has been her mother told to her. The second type of common behavior during this stage is reward orientation. So an example situation is when the father told his son to finish his homework, and then if the child will finish his homework, the father will buy him an ice cream. But if he will not finish his homework, there will be no ice cream. So the child will do his homework or finish his homework because he aimed the reward. He aimed to get the reward, which is the ice cream. So that is an example of reward orientation.
Latency stage. We all know that latency stage is the fourth stage of psychosexual development of Sigmund Freud's theory, and it's spanning the period of 6 years to puberty. During this stage, the attention of a child is more likely focusing on skills and peer activities with members of his or her own sex. The child is eager to learn new skills and they compare themselves to the other child so that they are more likely competitive, especially in school. The id, ego, and superego are balanced. So during this stage, the child learned how to balance themselves because they already know or understand the good one and the bad one so that they can control their action. For example, the id is trying to get to do things like eat cakes, but as what I've said, that they already know the good one and the bad one, so that their superego is trying to get or to make a good decision, and this ego operates on something that's called the reality principle. This is also the period of relative calm. It means that during this stage, even though they are more likely competitive or they are more eager to learn new skills, but still they learn or know how to have calmness despite of their eagerness and being competitive.
Erik Erikson or Erich Hamburger was a German-American developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst, known for his theory on psychological developmental of human being. So the conflict here is industry versus inferiority. This is where develop sense of self-pride or develop a confidence. So children who are encouraged and commended teacher develop a feelings of competence and belief in their abilities. those who receive little or no encouragement from teacher, parents, or peers will doubt their ability to be successful. So, for instance, Mariel received the support and encouragement she needed to overcome these difficulties and still build a sense of mastery. Um, However, Ken lacked the social and emotional encouragement he needed in this area. So, Mariel will likely develop a sense of industry where Kent will be left with feelings of inferiority. So in this stage, competence and motivation develop. So parent can help kids develop a sense of realistic competence by avoiding excessive praise and rewards, encouraging efforts rather than outcome, and helping kids develop a growth.
Scaffolding. Scaffolding starts from the age 4 years old and above. One of the theory in learning of Lev Vygotsky. Scaffolding is a systematic manner of providing assistance to the learner that helps the learner effectively acquire a skill. By providing instructions and help in the context of the learner's activity, the tutor provide a structure to support the learner's problem solving. An effective guidance involves the transfer of responsibility from the tutor to the learner. A form of learning that students help and assist the other students to learn, which is easier for the students to learn from one another than a teacher at times. In Vygotsky's theory, he believed that a guidance from the more knowledgeable would lead a learner to a level of high performance.